I've been experimenting with AI video tools and covering them on this channel for a long time, and right now is the most exciting and fun time in AI video yet. Runway and Luma Labs have been in the spotlight, and I'll cover some immediate real-world use cases for them, but my personal favorite tool is actually not one of those making the headlines. I'll get to that a little later. Plus some amazing lip syncing tools and some open source models. There's been a lot of advancements. I've got to start with Runway Gen-3 since it's been dominating my timeline. It is the best text-to-video model available to use right now. Something that's particularly useful with Gen-3 is text, like these title sequences. It is amazing at this. I'll show a few of my favorite examples I've seen. This is such a perfect title sequence for a cooking channel. This one also showcases how good it is at fluid simulation. The physics in a lot of these is really good. Adding some sound design would take these to the next level for sure and be production-ready title sequences. So I'll try one for Futurepedia. I'm logged in already, and here's a whole suite of image and video tools that Runway offers. But for Gen-3, I'll just click right here, then type in a prompt. A title screen with dynamic movement. The scene starts with intricate neon circuitry patterns that light up and move on a dark background. Suddenly the circuits converge and form the word Futurepedia with a glowing, pulsating effect. Then I can choose between 5 seconds and 10 seconds. I'll lower it to 5, then click generate. That's all there is to it right now. This is how that came back. And that looks amazing. Since Futurepedia is a longer word, I have gotten some misspellings, but it gets it right a lot of the time. This prompt structure has worked really well, so I used one of the sample prompts in the Gen-3 prompting guide and modified it. I modified it a lot, really just kept the basic structure. So I'd recommend trying to use the prompt structure they give in here when you're starting out. Camera movement, establishing scene, then additional details. Hopefully that will help you cut down on rerolls. They do also have a lot of solid keywords in this guide to help give you some inspiration. Another thing it's really good at is transforming between scenes. This is another prompt you can modify for yourself that comes back with great results pretty consistently. I will copy that and paste it in here. I'll change this to a wormhole and into an alien civilization. That's not bad. With some rerolls and modifying the prompt, I'm sure I could get a better generation. Now, here's a couple other examples using this same prompt idea. Now, I've also had a lot of misses with Runway 2. That's the biggest caveat here. The amazing results you see posted are definitely cherry-picked. That's the case with all AI video models, including Sora. But Runway can do some amazing things, especially if you have a lot of credits. Here's a few more of my favorite Runway examples. This was really hard to narrow down. The best image to video right now is Dream Machine from Luma Labs. You can also do text to video, which gets some good results, but where Luma shines is image to video. And even better than that is with keyframes. I'll show a couple straight image to video examples first. It's easy to use, upload an image, then add a prompt. Volcano erupting, contained within a drinking glass, surrounded by peaceful tranquility. This was the original image, then here's the result. And that looks perfect. I'll show a few more straight image to video examples, then we'll move on to keyframes. These are all within 1 or 2 tries. It does weird things on occasion, like this astronaut grows an extra finger. Or here's a weirder one. Or how about a much weirder one? Most of the time they do look good without having to do too many rerolls. The next step is adding an ending frame, and you can start doing some really cool stuff. You upload a starting frame, then also upload an ending frame. Now add a prompt for it to use to create the whole clip in between those frames. This works most consistently between things that are logical to transition between. If they're not, then try to be extra descriptive of what you want to happen in between. It works great for transformation shots that are in the same or a similar scene. But you can also do more out there transitions. This one looks like it could legitimately be a Pixar movie. You can extend that out by just taking your ending frame and using that as the starting frame for a new generation, then adding a new ending frame. You can do really long sequences this way. There's been these long mashups of memes that people have been posting, which are fine. I am definitely more interested in the creative stuff. This with this girl and the wolf is one of the coolest I've seen using that. It's amazing to keep that all consistent, and there's a ton of possibilities for this. You can do this for free, but the generations take a long time, like multiple hours when I tried before signing up. Paying will get you to the front of the line and a lot more generations. There's one more out of China that's similar in quality to these two called Kling. However, there is a huge waitlist for it, and the process to sign up is difficult without a Chinese phone number. So I'm going to cover that one at the end. Moving on to LTX Studio, they have the most control out of any of these platforms, and the fastest speed. They can build out an entire short film in a few minutes. How it works is you can start from scratch, input an entire script, or start from a simple prompt. I'll go with the prompt option for this example. I will paste this in. It's about a futuristic city controlled by AI entities and a hacker that can communicate with them. He joins a resistance, they battle, all that good stuff. Hit next and it starts working. It will show the basic story and the cast. Then you can select a style. So this is cinematic, but let's say I want an anime. I can direct it more with words as well. I'll add cyberpunk. There's all sorts of other styles here to try. I like comic book. We'll use these as consistent characters throughout the story, which is amazing because that's usually a struggle. And I can change anything about them that I want. I think this will be better without a last name. I could change the essence, appearance, the clothes. I can test out different voices if I want.
As an organizer, I start from where the world is, as it is, not as I would like it to be.
You can even face swap these with a face you upload. I want to change the title to, how about Neon Flux? See how many people know that reference. To the anime, not the movie they made from it. This looks good here, so I'll click start. And just from that, it builds out an entire short film with fully editable scenes. This whole thing was generated in less time than it took either of the others to generate a single clip. And I want to show the style reference feature again now that this is open because it's even cooler to do it in here. I'll try uploading my own style reference. So this is a Midjourney image. When I upload that style, every shot across every scene regenerates in the new style. That's super helpful, and doing it here will give you a much better idea of how it will look. And that looks awesome. I'm actually going to run with that style. Now these are just static images currently. I could generate them all into videos at once or open each one to customize it. That gives you the most flexibility, so I'll do that. I can regenerate the image or upload my own, even generate or remove objects from the image. I'll just get rid of this little blob here. I can choose from 4 types of motion and adjust how much of it. Most of the options are pretty straightforward, but this one is really amazing when you switch to custom, then orbit. Then you can have total control over the start and end of the shot, and it will generate the motion in between. You can also adjust how long the clip is. I want this to be like a movie trailer, so 3 seconds will be plenty. You can also add music, sound effects, it generates a voiceover. All of that can be customized as well. If it hasn't hit home yet, everything can be customized. I'll actually change the voiceover a little because this ended up telling the entire story. I didn't mention in the prompt that it was for a trailer. I don't want to spoil the ending. The track it used is awesome, so I'll keep it. That's a lot of the features, probably enough for this showcase. So I'm going to go through and generate each scene how I want it, then come back. All right, I've finished all the scenes. It's really nice that you can export all the files so I can bring it into Premiere for more fine-grained editing. The other really cool option is to export it as a pitch deck. I'll do that as well. First, here's the pitch deck. It has the story, all of the characters and their backgrounds, the mood board and color palette, then the full storyboard. And people have already made some amazing things this way, where they storyboarded a short film with LTX, then actually filmed and produced the entire thing. They posted this one called Winged on X, where this person turns into this like human head with bird wings. It's pretty good. You should go watch it. Then with this Premiere option, it gives me the project file that I can edit further. I already opened that and synced things up to the music a little more and made just a couple other simple edits. Here is the final result.
In the neon lit city, I discovered a secret power, the ability to communicate with AI spirits. Joining the resistance, I became a spirit guardian, fighting alongside comrades with unique tech powers. We face a rogue AI threatening our city's balance, blending ancient wisdom with cutting-edge technology. As the battle intensifies, the fate of our world hangs in the balance.
I've been having a ton of fun with LTX Studio. And side note, I did actually meet some people from the team at the Imagine AI conference a while back. At one point, they were just giving a little demo at their booth, and like everyone crowded around to watch. They really stole the show. Make sure to sign up for the waitlist. They're letting lots of people in. The link is in the description. And thank you to LTX for sponsoring this video. The platform I've been having the most fun with out of all of these is Krea. And with this one, you can do quite a bit for free. It's a lot different than the other ones we've covered. It's more for abstract stuff, not so much for realism. So it focuses more on these like trippy, morphing type animations, which I like a lot. Personally, I like to use AI to create things that would be impossible to create any other way, to open up entirely new creative avenues rather than replace existing ones. So I have a ton of fun in Krea. I'll go up to generate, then video. They also have a creative upscaler that's really useful. I'll show that one next. These are the 3 images I want to use. They're these translucent, kind of bioluminescent flower, jellyfish, and dragon. I think they'll look cool together. So I'll click add keyframe, select the flower, then I'll add another keyframe for the jellyfish, and another for the dragon. You can make these longer or shorter. I'll lengthen it a little bit. Then you can add a text prompt. I just want these to morph into each other, so I don't need any longer prompt. I'll just say what they are. Then drag the length of the prompt, and that's where the transitions will start. At least that's where they're supposed to. It's not perfect. There's a couple other settings for the aspect ratio, motion intensity. I like it around 60 usually. Then you can switch the looping on or off. It defaults to on, where the end will morph back into the first frame, so it can just endlessly loop. And then you have 4 styles to choose from. I'll start with film, then click generate video. And I'll generate one at each of those for comparison in a second. This will do a first pass at generating, then give a preview at a low quality. That'll give you a good idea what it will end up looking like. If it's not going in the direction you'd like, you can go to where it says enhancing and select click to cancel. That will save you some generation time. Now I actually think it's moving away from the jellyfish too fast, so I will cancel. I'll add another keyframe and select the jellyfish again, so it hangs out on that for longer. Then we'll generate again. That cancel option is especially helpful if you're on the free plan, since your generations are more limited. I am on the basic plan, which gets plenty of time for me. In about a minute, it's all done, and here's what I got. I think that looks really cool. Now I'll generate with render, animation, and experimental so you can see the difference. I think these are amazing, really fun and unique. Here's another quick example I did with these images. I am working on some longer stuff with tracks from Suno, but they're not finished yet. So here's one more weird one I did. I love this style. I know it's not for everyone, but it's really great for something like a music video or an opening sequence. But these are a couple of my favorite examples I found on X. Now I also want to demo their video upscaler. This is not like a traditional upscaler where it resembles the original video as much as possible, just at a higher resolution. It does a creative upscale similar to how Magnific works, but for video. It stays really close, but kind of reimagines everything with AI. So I'll use a clip from the LTX video I made. This one has a face that was just completely warped. We'll see if it can fix that. I don't need it upscaled that much. I'll leave that at 1.5, frame rate 30 FPS. It writes out a prompt of what it thinks is in the video. That looks good. So I'll leave the strength and resemblance at the defaults first and start with cinematic. Turn looped off and enhance. This took around 30 seconds and here's the result. You can see that there's a face on here now. That's pretty amazing. It was able to fix that. I ran one at each of the different presets so you can see the difference. Cinematic and render are fairly similar. Then animated makes it more of an anime style. And I'll show that with a few clips from that LTX video. I hope to see them expand that into more styles because it is very useful. Overall, I think Krea is a ton of fun, and there's some additional options to play around with in here as well. Lip syncing has made some big improvements recently. There's tons of impressive demos that have come out that we don't have access to use, but there's two platforms I want to show that we do have access to. One that's completely free and one that's free for 5 uses per day. It's Hedra and LivePortrait. Hedra has some of the most expressive talking avatars I've seen. It's pretty easy to use, so either generate the audio or upload some of your own. I'll use the classic Fight Club line. Now I'll upload a character. You can also generate one here if you need. Now I just generate the video. It works pretty quickly, and here's what I got.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
That looks great, super expressive. Let's do another one, but with a non-human character. This time I'll use the line from Taken.
What I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
So that one looked great, but it can definitely struggle with non-human characters, and the less human they look, the harder it is. Like a dog just didn't work at all, or even some of those gnomes, especially the ones with a beard, it was having a hard time with.
You do not talk about Fight Club.
Runway also has a lip syncing feature that they implemented. It works really well, very high quality, but it's much less expressive.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
Live Animate is also amazing, but takes a different route. You upload a reference video and it will map that onto the avatar. This allows you to have more control over the expressiveness. It's on Hugging Face, so you can use it for free. Upload a source portrait. I'll give my face a try. Then upload a driving video. It works best with a straight-on shot like the ones they have in these examples. I'll just use one of those. Here's a pretty classic one, although I won't be able to use the song that goes along with it on YouTube. Now I'll click Animate. And in under 30 seconds, here's the result. And that worked pretty perfectly. I'll show an example that didn't work. This is a clip from Breaking Bad. It shows his face the whole time, but he does move a bit. So with that, it's just not able to map that onto my face at all. So there's limitations here, but you can still do some pretty great stuff with it. Things you would never be able to get through other methods currently. And really quick here, I want to shout out the open source community and the tools and workflows they've been developing. And pioneering. Those have really been the foundation of some of these other tools that will mimic or outright take those workflows and implement them into a paid model. The things you can get from Krea and some of these other video models are possible with open source tools, most notably ComfyUI and AnimateDiff. That method is significantly more complicated, although it offers more customization and control. The paid platforms tend to offer a nice UI and ease of use. So far, all of these examples are from James Gerde. Not sure if that's how you say his last name. He has so many amazing creations on Instagram. I'm only showing short clips from them. They're all much longer and have music to them as well. So I have been following his work for a while, and it is some of my favorite. This marble statue dance was one of his really early ones to go viral. His Instagram is full of amazing stuff, but I'll show some other people too. This dancing spider is awesome. These have all been from driving these animations using real footage, but that's not the only way to use this at all. This one by Fab Dream going through the evolution of money was great. Or these weird frog animations from Boldtron. I love these. To learn more about how to do this, I am not the person to be teaching it, but if you want to do a deep dive to install and run it locally and learn how to do all of that, I'll have a couple resources in the description. Kling is the platform that's as good or better than Runway and Dream Machine, with text to video and image to video. But the waitlist is huge and the process is more complicated if you don't have a Chinese phone number. So I'm going to link to a thread by Tile AI. He walks through the process of downloading a couple apps and getting a burner number to use. I was able to sign up for the waitlist using my own number on their mobile app, but then the new website doesn't have an option for a non-Chinese number to sign in. So it is probably best to use his method. And fair warning, I signed up for the waitlist about 2 weeks ago. It said there were around 500,000 people on it. I still don't have access, and now the waitlist says it has around 1 million people on it. So it is free to use right now, but I imagine that will change by the time people that are just now signing up for the waitlist get access. So it may not be worth the hassle. That's why I didn't want to spend all the time going over that here. Follow that thread if you want to try. But the quality coming out of Kling is amazing. We are finally to a point where you can use AI to make video that's usable in the real world outside of memes. Not usable for everything, of course. There's still plenty of limitations. These tools have come a very long way and are a ton of fun right now. If you want to keep up with everything in AI, make sure to visit futurepedia.io, find the best AI tools, stay up to date with innovations, learn how to use it all with curated tutorials. There's tons of new features on the site, so check it out if you haven't for a while. Then subscribe so more videos like this show up on your homepage. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.